Now that we've gathered all of our evidence and thought deeply about all of our articles on when lying is or is not justified, it is time to write the essay. I have provided for you 2 essay outline graphic organizers. You may choose which one you want to use. You're going to go to Haiku, right here, scroll down to Assignments, and you'll choose one of these graphic organizers. This one is very basic. This is the one that I recommend if you think that you are already a good essay writer and don't need a whole lot of help. You just start plugging things in. However, I recommend that most of you choose the alternative outline for lying essay. It looks like this. This one will provide you a lot of support, and it'll even provide you with handy sentence frames. So let's start going through it. Read the directions. Fill in the blanks to help organize your ideas for the essay. Words in italics, that's the slanty writing that looks like this, are sentence frames. You should choose one of the options and use it in your essay to begin that particular sentence. Remember that you will still need to fill in gaps in your essay to make your ideas flow smoothly. So let's start. You're going to put in what's called a hook. The hook is the interesting or shocking fact to catch your reader's interest. Now, by interesting or shocking, I mean something that is good to start an essay. Don't start out with profanity. That's not good. For this example essay, I'm going to use the following hook. Everyone lies, but no one says it's actually okay to do so. That's a nice hook. It catches your reader's interest. Now we're going to give the thesis statement. You'll notice here we have some italics. That's our sentence frame. Lying is never acceptable because, lying is only acceptable when, lying can be justified when, or lying is always allowable because. I'm going to choose lying can be justified when. I'm going to get rid of these other ones. Lying can be justified when, and then you're going to fill it in. When can lying be justified? I'm going to give you a very narrow example. Lying can be justified when the safety of one or more people is in danger. In this example essay, I'm going to argue that you can only lie, or lying is only okay, to save other people's safety. Reason 1, reason 2, and then competing views. So my main point is going to be that people are more important than an individual's sense of honor. And I'm going to argue that lying isn't that bad. Now we're going to have competing views. However, others believe that lying is acceptable at all times. We've got our introduction. It's not the best introduction. You can do better. I know you can do better, but here we go. Now we're going to do our body paragraph. Your biggest reason for believing your thesis statement. We're going to go back here. People are more important than an individual's sense of honor. We're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it right there. Now we need a quote. To find your quotes, you're going to go to this, your gathering evidence paper. Remember at the bottom where you had to answer which evidence do you find more persuasive and why? The reason for that was so that you could decide which side you were going to argue. Since I'm arguing that lying is only acceptable to save people, I'm going to mostly use chart 2, the 4 claims that support the argument that lying is never okay. You will notice I do not have actual quotes and actual responses. You'll need to find these yourself. So, let's say that I decide quote 5 is the one that I want to use. I'm going to paste that quote right in there. And I'm probably going to want to say, according to author 5, and there's my quote, and what the quote means and how it proves your biggest reason. Again, you can use this to help you. Response 5 might work, or you might have to change it. Something very close to response 5. And another idea that supports it. Now we need another quote. We're going to go back to the gathering evidence. Quote 6 isn't that great, but quote 7's pretty good. So we're going to put quote 7, according to author 7. Now remember, you need to put your quotes in quotation marks. And it's perfectly okay if you forget, like I did, to simply go back and fix it. Then we're going to have response 7 and another idea that supports quote 7. Because this is what's called the commentary. It explains what your quote means and how it proves your biggest reason. Make sure that your commentary, the bits that come after the quotes, prove this. If your quotes don't prove your biggest reason, you need different quotes. And if you can't explain how the quotes support your biggest reason, you need better commentary. Now we're going to do body paragraph 2. Go back to gathering evidence. We already used quotes 5 and 7, so for this one we're going to use quotes 6 and 8. Plug them into body paragraph 2 exactly the same way we plugged in quotes 5 and 7 into body paragraph 1. Now it's time to do body paragraph 3. Body paragraph 3 acknowledges the opposing position. So, who disagrees with your position? Now, I like to keep this really vague. Others disagree. It just says others. It keeps it open. You might want to be more specific. You might want to say a philosopher like Immanuel Kant would disagree, or a current thinker like Brad Blanton would disagree, or teenagers disagree. Here we go. Why do they disagree with your position? Remember, we're getting these ideas from here. Competing view. However, others believe that lying is acceptable at all times. So others disagree. Why do they disagree with your position? Lying whenever one feels like it. Oops, we don't need a comma there. Seems justified when teenagers believe that their comfort and fun is more important than the development of their character. That's a long sentence, but it's a pretty good one. This position is incorrect because fun is fleeting, but character stays part of you for your entire life. Now we need a quote that proves your reason that they are incorrect. That means you need to find me a quote that explains this. We don't have a quote for that here. Gathering evidence didn't have a spot for you to find that quote. So you need to go back to the articles and find that quote. So this is going to be a new quote. And then you'll need a new reason. How does your quote support the idea that you are right and they are wrong? Finally, the conclusion. You're going to restate your position. I might do it like this. Clearly, lying to protect others is acceptable, but is wrong in any other context. I've used a different wording here than I did way up here. Okay? Up here, I said lying can be justified when the safety of one or more people is in danger. Down here, I said clearly lying to protect others is acceptable, but is wrong in any other context. Use the sentence frame that you like. Clearly, as you can see, without a doubt, it's a nice way to start your conclusion. Remind them of point 1. Again, you should reword this. You should not use the exact same words. So I go back to point 1. My biggest reason is people are more important than an individual's sense of honor. I might say, though we feel like good people when we tell the truth, that feeling can never come before another's life. Then we remind the reader of the main point number 2. So you're going to go back to body paragraph 2. Whatever your second reason was, you're going to plug that in. Tell the reader why it matters. Okay? Lying is pervasive in our world, and we must understand it. And then your clinching statement. Just like you started with an interesting or shocking fact to catch the reader's interest, you're going to want to end with something that will keep your reader thinking about your essay even when they've stopped reading. So I might use something like this. The truth is indeed important, but we shouldn't let that blind us to the fact that there are more important things. And now you have your essay outlined and you're ready to begin writing your first draft.